Right guys, hello again, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got something slightly different for you. Today I'm going to show you one of my pieces of airsoft equipment. This is a very old Ares M3A1 Grease gun that's had a level of customization. So I thought I'd show you this. I've got some slow motion footage of its mechanisms working and it firing, and thought that would just be something interesting to show you, and we'll get through the details now and make a start. Right, with the camera set up properly, hopefully this should be in focus according to my monitor that I got set up here. It looks pretty good. So let's go over the details. Right, so this is obviously a replica, not a real gun, and can't fire any real bullets, just little 6mm plastic BBs. So what we've got here is the M3 Grease gun from Ares. That's pretty good. As you can see, this one's very old, that's very worn. The previous owner did give it some weathering, but a lot of this is just through use. It started to brown in a lot of places, which is quite nice. So it's got a fairly authentic look to it, and a lot of people have asked me if this is actually a Diac, because compared to something like the Denex grease gun, for example, this probably looks more realistic. So let's go over some of the features that you got here. Originally, you'd have a cocking handle here, same as on the original M3 grease gun. On this gun, that acted as the safety, so you'd have automatic or safe, and you'd move the lever. Now the M3A1 shouldn't have that lever, so I've removed that and just put a screw in the hole. This gun doesn't really need a safety anyway. If you want to be safe, you take the mag out. It's as simple as that. So you've got that. On the pistol grip here, you've got the suggestion of an oil bottle being in there. This is just a screw, that doesn't actually have anything on it, but the suggestion's there and that's all that matters. Your stock is adjustable like the real thing, so you can pull that out, well, you want to pull it out, and then you can slide it back in whenever you're done. The M3A1 has this little mechanism on the stock, so you can actually use it to load your magazines, because grease gun magazines are a pain to load if you've ever tried to do one. It stops you having to have a separate tool. You just slide your magazine in there and push it down, push the rounds down with that little part there. Obviously you've got your dust cover here. So on a real M3A1, this would be where you'd charge it. You'd stick your finger, that'd be a deeper hole, and you'd cock it back and that'd hold back. On this one, you see if I pull it back, that's where the hop unit is hidden. So you use this arm here to adjust your hop, which is the system that, for people that don't know, that puts a spin on the BBs and keeps them going straight. Means you can go 45-50 meters instead of about 10. So that's pretty important to have a good one in a gun. You've got your little bit of metal here, which is pathetic, which is just to try and keep your hand off the heat. These get hot very fast, real ones. Even just using blanks on them like I have in the past, they get very hot. And obviously your mag goes in this bit sticking out here. Iron sights, very simple. You just got your little aperture there and your tiny little bit here. It's not really of any effective use, and definitely for an airsoft gun completely irrelevant really, because this is not built for accuracy. So let's spin it around. Right, so on this side you've got your attachment points for your sling. These M3 grease guns and M3A1 grease guns take the same slings as M1 carbines, so this has just got a reproduction sling on it. But you notice something a bit different about my one here, is that it's got this reproduction first aid pouch, which has had the belt attachment cut off, and I've sewn that to the sling. Now that's for a very particular reason. If I get the magazine for the gun, so here you've got the magazine. If I show you on the inside, A, you can see that it's loaded, and B, you can see it's got this terminal here. Now most airsoft guns, the battery goes inside the gun, and this is a bit different. With these Ares grease guns, you push this little pin in here and you take the plate off the bottom of the magazine and you put the battery in the magazine, and then them terminals there connect. I don't think we'll be able to see it, but there's a set of terminals in the mag well. So you have to have a battery for every single magazine, which is useless because they only have 60 round magazines, which in airsoft, if you're just on a skirmish day, 60 rounds is nothing. So you have to have a lot of magazines with a lot of batteries, which is a lot of weight and very expensive. So I've come up with a way to get around that. Me and my friend rewired the gun. So as you can see, my sling here that I've made This little pouch has the cable coming out of it, and the battery is actually in this little pouch. Just a little LiPo battery. And what we did is, we took the gun apart, we cut a hole in the side here where my finger is, and so we have a cable coming out of there into this little bag to put your battery in, instead of the wiring going to the terminal in the magwell. So I don't need to have batteries in my magazines anymore, which makes this gun a lot more usable. And because of the way I've built this sling, it's really not any noticeable difference to having it with just the sling without the pouch on. It doesn't add any weight on it. That's only a little battery that I use. So it's really the ideal solution for me, I think, with this gun. And hopefully anyone else that sees this that has one of these Ares Grease guns, because they are still about, even though they're very old, might think, that's a decent idea, and I'll do that, and that'll help them out. Right, so the battery's loaded into the gun, but the gun's obviously not loaded with ammunition, and the magazine's not in. So I'm just going to put the cover over like that. Unlike a real grease gun, this does not act as a safety. If you have it shut, as you can see, the gun will still fire. So that is not a safety in any way, shape or form. But if I open it up, you can see the mechanism as it works. And I've also got you some slow motion of this. So I'll load that up now for you. Right, now I'm going to give you a little bit of a demonstration of it firing. Obviously I don't have a shooting range or anything like that. So you get your gun here, you're loading it quite simply. You just slot the magazine in. This gun is now live and ready to go. By live I obviously mean little plastic BB live, no bullets. So I won't be too worried. Pull a little stock out. Got my little cardboard box here. And by the sounds of it, about 10 BBs just went flying down the stairs, so that'll be fun to clean up in a little while. Stock back in, and then just like a real one, you got your mag release here. Pull that, the last couple of rounds always dribble at the end. Make sure your gun's safe always. And then disconnect the battery, and gun is all safe and ready to go anywhere. Just a quick example of it a bit up close. As you can see, they might just be BBs, but they do still sting a bit when they hit you. But they're perfectly safe as long as you don't get hit in the eye. Always use eye protection when you're using these things, guys. I don't want to be responsible for anyone getting their eyes took out. Right guys, so that's just a little example of the grease gun and the mechanism that operates it, so hopefully you enjoyed that. I've got one more little thing I want to show you here though to do with this, so I'm going to pop this down here and pull up this. Right, so this is more than what you might think. You might think, oh, that's just a naff airsoft silencer for a grease gun. Not quite. This silencer is a very rare piece of equipment. This is made by a company called Hudson. That's probably about 30 years old. I think that was built for a blank fire grease gun years ago that basically don't exist anymore. That's had an adapter ring built by the previous owner. I'll just show you that there. So that it will fit on this grease gun. I've also got the bit of leather that goes over it if you want to have that on. And this, if you're doing anything to do with Vietnam, this is the way to run your grease gun really, because I've not seen really a photo of a grease gun in the Vietnam War without a silencer on it. So this is a smart piece of kit, and I'm going to attach it to the gun now. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to attach it to the gun now so you can see what it looks like with the silencer on. Right, so to get it on, you just undo this. Pull that bit of metal down, that will make so much noise. Hopefully the camera's focus isn't focusing on the silencer on the table. Right, so you just take the normal outer barrel off, get rid of that, Get your silencer. And spend years and years and years screwing it on. Cool, exciting stuff. Right, so the silencer's now on. So you can see, makes quite a big difference to the grease gun. You got your stock out. It's actually quite a long little piece of kit now. So I think that is quite smart. You got your bit of leather here. If you want to have your bit of leather on, you do see them with it on in the pictures. You can just slide that over it like that. And there you go. I can get it in the frame properly. Yeah, there you are. So that is one very old Ares M3A1 Airsoft Grease gun with an even older Hudson silencer and some customisations to it just to make it a bit more usable, because you really don't want all of your magazines having batteries in it. That is useless. Whoever thought of that idea, I hope they get sacked. So there you go. I thought you might enjoy this today. I don't have a deactivated M3A1 to show you, so I thought this was the next best thing, and I thought maybe I'll show you some of my other airsoft kit. I don't really get to airsoft properly anymore, but I do still have a lot of kit, some cool stuff. So if you would like to see more of that, like to see some little demos of it, I could even take the camera down to my mate's airsoft site and show you some actual bits and pieces of them shooting. No in-game footage or anything like that, just, you know, a couple of showcases of some guns. So if you like that, please leave a comment, like and subscribe to help the channel grow. We are still slowly getting the channel up there, and hopefully with some content like this, that will help it grow a bit more, interest a few more of you. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.